All right, cool. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can't complain, really.
I don't know how this thing's gonna go. It may just be you.
Oh gosh. No, I mean I am 9 minutes early, so
No, cool. Did you ever I didn't go back in there and check to see if you had granted me permission to your jokes. Did
oh
you ever?
oh my gosh. Let me check right quick. I'm not sure how that works, but I'll try. I don't it just escaped my mind completely.
It's okay.
All right. Do you have a Gmail? Maybe that would be easier.
Yeah. It's let me put it in the chat and I'll put it
All
for
right.
everybody. I don't know if anybody's going to show up, but I've had a few people that can't show up go back and forth with me, which has been positive. So we have 3 or 4 people that seem to be interested and understand what we do.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
that's positive. Honestly, even if I just had you to polish what I have, because I kind of get imposter syndrome kind of badly. So I
Oh,
never really believe in my own humor 100%. So I work
oh.
best in teams because
Mhm.
then we can all reinforce each other.
Right.
That's the way it works as far as the spirit of improv anyway.
Of course.
And you said you never done any improv?
I did some for like classes and stuff, but not like with like a trope or anything.
That's okay. That's basically all I've done. I've been parts of troops, I've written sketches and things
Hmm.
like that, but I never made anybody's main stage. I never got to that point at auditions. So I'm still kind of like, this is kind of me putting together a troupe, like a writing troupe, like an improv troupe.
Oh,
So
okay. That's cool.
yeah. So I got responses from like 10 people. And I don't quite know where that notebook is. I'm gonna have to get better organized.
I feel
But
that.
everybody loves the idea for the show. Everybody thinks that I can host it, and everybody
Hmm.
thinks that it's a good possibility that we'll get a pilot shot before the end of the semester, and then have it going first thing in the next semester, so that people can maybe plan their classes around it.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping to get everything out to everybody. Like, I hope a lot of people kind of show up here, because
Yeah, I do too.
then we'll be able to put them all on the same page as far as what the workflow is going to be.
Right.
Plus, I want everybody to kind of get to know who they're working with and
Hmm.
get to know if anybody's like really super pushy or any of that stuff.
Right.
Which I haven't seen so far. I've had a lot of really nice people show
That's
up
good.
that have the attitude you have.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
Okay,
Was-
here comes Daniel.
Oh, sweet.
Enter the waiting room. That's we wait. We sit
Coming
and
in.
wait.
He's just getting hooked up.
Daniel's making the connection. Daniel, come on, Daniel.
You
Come
can
on,
do
Daniel.
it.
You can do it. You can make it. Come on, Daniel. Come on. Come on. If we all make
Go,
enough
Daniel,
noise
go.
for Daniel,
Wow, it's
we can
taking an
make him
awfully
connect.
long time.
His internet in the dorm is not what he has here. He is not the high dollar Comcast we have in Walter Hill. He has just what he gets by paying the minimum to the university. And there
Yes,
he is. And
there
he's
he is.
muted.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
I've seen that guy
no.
around campus so many times. I think so. Maybe.
And here comes Ben Murphy. Let's see if Ben Murphy has just as much difficulty as Daniel.
Come
We're all
on,
cheering
Ben,
for
you
him. Come
can
on,
do
Ben.
it.
Come on, Ben. Ben is connecting. He's
Wow, he
connected to
was a
the
lot
audio.
faster.
Let's see about his video though.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I've seen that guy around too before.
wow. You guys both look like avatars, like your emojis or something. I think it's the glasses. Like,
Yeah, you could hit
nice.
random on The Sims and you probably get me. So
Awesome. That's solid joke right off the bat. All right, here we go. Dawn Neiman entered the waiting room. Dawn, you don't necessarily have to cheer for her, but she may be one of our producers. Here is
Ooh,
Dawn
ooh.
Neiman.
Come on, Don, you can do it.
Hey,
Yay.
Dawn. There's Dawn, and we all get to see faces as well, which is going to be a nice thing. Yeah. Well, everybody, welcome. We're going to wait here a couple more minutes and see how many people we can get. I have a short PowerPoint that hopefully I can make very, very short. And then I'm going to send you guys on your marching orders and how to tell you how to get between here and Thursday. So is everybody here in this room right now free on Thursday nights?
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my class ends at like 4:05, so yeah, I'm
All
free
right.
on Thursday nights.
Is that class in Bragg?
No, it's at the Peck Hall, but I walk fast, so
All right. I might be able to hook
I
you up
can
with
just
a
like
scooter.
skedaddle.
Well, fantastic, everybody. Do you have something to add, Dawn?
No, I was seeing what time you were planning on ending or starting, not ending.
In 3 minutes. I said
No,
everybody
no,
it was 6
sorry.
o'clock.
On Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. That's up in the air. It could be. We figured we'd kind of make it like the news. It would be 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Would be go time. The call would be like 4. But the way I'm going to put it together, and I'll explain very quickly. We'll have people sharing concepts and jokes and stuff and stories and all that stuff all week, kind of like we did with the news. But what they'll do is they'll put it on a sheet of paper, and then you'll instead of writing a news story for us, like I'll take care of that. You'll have, I'm pointing on the screen. We are visual people. We are VFP here. So you'll have you'll have everybody will turn in like a series of stories and a series of comments under them of like just smart aleck comments. And if you can write jokes, fantastic. I will train you if you don't know how. So nobody has to have anything except opinions. So everybody, and kind of a sense of news. Everybody mute themselves.
Oh,
That was probably me.
Okay. Well, no, that's okay. I'm just gonna I'm already annoying enough. I don't want and to go on in the background. So all right. We're gonna wait just a few more minutes. Does everybody here keep up with current events?
I've been doing a better job at doing that now that I've heard about this. So
If you haven't, that's okay. Raise your hand if you're a writer. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I mean,
every
that's
writer
fine.
always shakes their hand.
Yeah, we all have imposter syndrome. So everybody mute yourselves. I'm gonna bring the other folks in. Hang on. Admit all. Okay, Dawn. Dawn, if you end up having to drop off, can you hear me now? If you end up having to drop off, or if you can't talk, that's okay. I'm recording this. I can send out the link afterwards if you need, and I'll talk to you. We'll talk one-on-one too. So if you end up having to drop off, I won't be offended. Nicholas is here. Hello, Nicholas. Tristan is here. Hello, Tristan. I do know Tristan. All right. I thought you were Tristan Wall for a second. You know Tristan Wall. You both worked on that show with me, the game show, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a contestant, I think. I barely know him though.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Welcome everybody. We are going to get going. I'll give everybody say like 2 minutes because I think there are a couple of people that said that they were coming. But Nicholas, all right. Hey man, how's it going? Is it Nick?
Yes, whatever works, whatever you can remember.
And you're the one that gave me that joke about disappearing as William Baldwin, right?
Yep, that was me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to mention that later. It's going to come up, but I'm going to make sure you get credit. Now,
Thank
all you guys who are writers, I was just saying, if you don't have experience with current events, not the biggest deal, because this isn't a real news program. Technically, it's just satire of the news. I can write news and I can write news jokes, just like the Daily Show. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. So all you have to do at first, if you don't have any experience with current events, is go look for news. And it can be any kind of news. I mean, we're looking for like national, state news, open the DNJ, kind of look, Daily News Journal, the newspaper here in Murfreesboro. If you go to their online site, look at what they have, and you're thinking, well, there's something funny about everything in there. And it might be tasteless. We're going to try to filter through that. All right, here we have two more joining, Emily Picarella and Terica Black, two pros from MT10. All right, welcome Terica and Emily.
Hey everyone.
All right. Hello. Everybody put yourselves on mute if you would. I'm gonna try to drive the meeting here so that I can keep everybody for the smallest amount of, or the shortest amount of time. So all right, let's get into this real quick. I have a very short PowerPoint, so I'm going to share that. And hopefully not lose you guys on here as well. Hold on. All right, does everybody see the PowerPoint presentation? And everybody can hear me. Thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, fantastic. All right. Well, welcome to, it's the first meeting of It's Been a Week with Dave Stripling. I finally, as content guy at BRTV, decided to just, oh, here's Aubrey as well. I decided as content guy to just go ahead and put a show on the air because frankly at BRTV, we are a training ground. So we want to try to train as many people as possible to do as many roles as possible. And we had lost 2 nights of news. Jackson Hubbard is here as well. We'll introduce ourselves in just a few minutes. But we were trying to replace 2 nights of news, Monday nights and Thursday nights. Well, we had to kill the news. A lot of faculty were giving us a lot of heat about it not being a real journalistic thing. Everybody, please put yourselves on mute if you can. The journalism department also wanted to really do their own news, so they're going to go rebuild that and have that, and they can have it. So I decided, hey, let's just do a joke newscast. If they think our newscast is a joke anyway, why not actually make it a comedy program? So this is going to be very much like what you see. Well, it's going to be very much like what you see on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, or the less jokey late night talk shows. Things like Seth Meyers. Does anybody watch late night TV at all? But it won't be your typical kind of, hey, we're going to have a band and I'm going to BS with the band or whatever. It's going to be a more concise thing, kind of like a John Oliver type thing, where I'm up there at a desk, I'm reading news, there's an over-the-shoulder graphic, and that's going to get really fun as well because you guys are going to have an opportunity to create those. So let's just get into it because I think I'll get a little more organized if I go ahead and go through this. Otherwise, you'll hear me talk about myself for 2 hours. Nobody wants that. All right. So I am your host, Dave Stripling. I decided to put myself as the very first host of this. However, this is a program that I'm going to hand off because I graduate in May. So I don't foresee myself continuing on to do this after that for free. So a student is going to elevate throughout this process to be the host. But a little bit about me. Started as improv comic, moved to Chicago and really learned to write sketch comedy and all that stuff at Second City and the Improv Olympic. Met a bunch of famous people, did a lot of really cool stuff and short films, hosted my own morning show. Well, after I produced News Talk for a little while, I hosted my own radio morning show. And then I decided to go back to MTSU because I was tired of getting fired everywhere. And I rose up through MT10 News doing weather and really cool stuff there, and doing anchor. I was anchor for MT10, and then also having hosted a game show. I got to sort of be the helm and if not producer, de facto producer, calling shots from the desk. And so that gave me the confidence to be able to do this. So you guys go around the room and tell me. I will stop sharing screen for just a second. And I want to know a little bit, 15, 20 seconds or so about who's here. We'll start with Annalise. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, as you may know, my name is Annalise. I'm an animation major, art and honors minor. I like to draw, write stories, make videos, motion graphics, and I have a pet cockatiel. I guess that's a fun fact about myself.
Awesome. Daniel, how about you?
Hello, everyone. I'm an English major with a minor in film, interactive media, and writing. Yeah, I like to say I'm a writer. That's about it.
All right. Ben, tell us about yourself.
Hey, I'm Ben. I'm a marketing major. I like to run and I like NFL, basically just sports in general, so I can write some of that. Comedy wise, I've made some skits with my friends, but they look like high school skits. But the writing part is fun. So that's me.
Awesome. Well, no, that's excellent. All this so far, especially I've heard a little bit from every one of you guys, and all this is adequate experience, more than adequate. I need people who are writers, who are open-minded to be able to write anything. And when we get to the actual assignment part, you're going to be like, that's it. That's really all I have to do. But you get all these opportunities to get more and more experience performing, or even crewing shows, or if you want to be a producer, or all that stuff. That's part of why I've invited Dawn and Terica and Emily along, so that and Emily, of course, so that she knows exactly what I'm doing here, is she's going to be picking some of the crew as well, as a BRTV officer. But you guys are going to get to learn from everybody, because this is a learning experience above the line and below the line. You're going to learn to host, you're going to learn to write, you're going to learn to do whatever you want to get your hands on. That's the whole point of doing all this stuff. So if you don't have experience, this is a great way to get anything you want as far as that. And I think writers, if you already are confident enough to say that you're a writer, you already have more confidence than you need to get through all of this stuff and learn all this stuff. You're already a go-getter. You're already that kind of person that we need. So Nicholas, go ahead with yourself. Tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Nick. I've been working in different church skits, writing plays, performing for better part of a decade now. I love SNL, love sketch comedy, and I'm a huge Norm Macdonald fan. So I'm super pumped for this.
Right on. And some of ours, a lot of my style is a little bit more like Seth Meyers sometimes. And Jon Stewart is one of my big heroes, as well as Colbert. But I love Norm Macdonald. I loved watching him on Weekend Update all those years ago. So some of my stuff is just very Norm Macdonald. I mean, that's it. You kind of give that joke and then stare at the camera for a minute, and it's deadpan, and then you just go on to camera 3. I like that. That's so you're going to get a lot of stuff. Jackson, awesome, man. Glad you showed up. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jackson Hubbard. I'm a sophomore video film production and journalism major. Ever since middle school, I've been in church media, so I'm trying to shift towards, more career. And I've been on the technical side for a very long time, but I'm trying to get my writing ability up.
Awesome. Yeah, this will do it. And this will give you some, you'll get to know Emily and get to know some of those folks on the technical side. And you'll have some opportunities to do a lot of technical stuff here as well. And we'll get into it in a second. Tristan, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Tristan Ruddy, VFP major with a minor in writing. I consider myself something of a writer, I guess. I've written a bit of comedy. Don't know if it's actually funny or will make you slap yourself in the face, but it's there. And next semester, I'll actually be going over to Washington, D.C. for an internship. So you might have the ability to have a man on the ground on the streets of Washington.
Well,
if you want.
If not, we're going to lie about it either way, because we got a green screen. We're going to send people to Washington without actually having to send people to Washington. But if we got somebody in Washington, yeah. So yeah, what's your internship for?
It's actually journalism based, because they didn't have anything for video and film production. So ironically, actual journalism, and then also comedy journalism. Win-win.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, welcome aboard. Everybody, by the way, is hired if you want it. So let's you're here, you're hired if you want to have the job. If you don't, it doesn't hurt my feelings. We'll produce it anyway. But it's going to be fun. So why not? Dawn, did we talk to you?
No, you didn't talk to me. Hi.
Sorry, my screen shifts. Like people keep changing spots.
Oh,
So
it's because probably people are talking, so it's moving around your screen a little bit. Maybe. Someone joined, one of the two.
I've got it on gallery view. You go. Tell us about you, Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn. I'm a senior. I graduate in May. I guess my background is I was a news reporter in high school, and then I came to college and I still package reported, and then I AP'd, and then I was producer for Thursday Night News and ended the semester as executive producer for news last spring. And I run Camera on the Wave, and I'm working on trying to get another show off the ground for BRTV.
So if Dawn isn't too extremely busy to be able to do this, she may step up as my producer in my ear on the other side of the wall, which would be beautiful. And I would love to have you. But I won't be offended if you can't, because I know you got to get you're helping with the other two shows too. So you guys are going to learn a lot from Dawn at the very least. So her participation is awesome, even if it ends up being virtual. But I hope you end up with us. Aubrey, tell us about yourself.
Hi, my name is Aubrey. Everybody's talking about their background, but that doesn't matter. What matters for me is my future. My future is being a partner in this and working with you, Dave, on this show, which I'm very excited for. I'm a film major and I am a minor in writing, but I'm just going to say I like writing. I'm not amazing, but I like doing it. So that's me.
Well, Aubrey, you can tell Aubrey is a sharp writer. I'm excited to have her. She's producer in my Multicam 1 class right now. So actually I get to pull my hat off and work for her after this, which is awesome. I like the way we swap roles around. Terica, tell us a little bit about your awesome self.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I don't have my camera on. I'm not in the best background space, but my name is Terica. I am a broadcast journalism major at MTSU. This year I'm a senior. I graduate as well in May. I guess my background, I have most experience with MT10 News. I both side reported. I was a package reporter, and then I worked my way up to be an anchor. And coincidentally, Dawn was my producer for the 2 years I did anchor. So she's very great if you all need any information about producing. I just recently hosted a cooking show, so that was an experience. And I guess a fun fact about me is I love writing, but I have this Disney character writing. It's like, it looks like calligraphy, but it's really cool on paper. So nice to meet you all.
Yeah. And Joey Harris just joined us. While he gets connected, we'll talk to Emily as well. Emily, tell us your stuff.
Hello, everyone. As Dave kind of said earlier, I am a BRTV officer. I'm the production manager. My background experience is I do a lot of production managing for both BRTV and for Media Arts Productions, but I was also an associate producer for MT10 for 2 semesters. So I do have an idea of how to write, but writing is not my thing per se, but if you all need any help, I am willing to help you guys in any way that I can. Even though I am very busy with all the other things I'm doing, don't hesitate to reach out. I can help you all out.
Yeah, Emily is, thank you for coming in, Emily, because the reason I wanted you here was so that you could see everything that we're doing, because she's going to be the next step in this and getting us booked in the studio and getting us crewed and getting all these positions together. And some of what you're going to see, Emily, tonight is part of this show outline that I'm about to send you. So we're about to get everything underway. We're going to have, we're going to try to aim for a pilot if everybody's not too busy before exams and all that stuff. And if we can't, then at least we'll practice writing and practice the production process for all of us, the people that are writing and producing the show. It's going to be set up a little bit differently from MT10, but very similar in a way, because the way MT10 was, the producers ended up, all the anchors or whoever that wanted to be part of the show would contribute like a minute and a half of content. So you'd write like 3 stories, or you'd produce 1 package, or you do whatever, and then that got you onto the show. So you fulfilled your ego. But then the producers the day of ended up writing it all. Well, I kept getting a lot of people in trying to put this show together. I kept getting a lot of people that didn't necessarily have that producer experience of writing it all, and the experienced producers, the Emilys and Dons and Terikas of the world don't necessarily have the time. So I'm going to step up and be that guy. So at the very end, Sunday night we'll have a meeting, and then we'll bounce ideas off of each other all week. I'm about to show you how very quickly in this PowerPoint. I figure I'll have you guys for another 10 minutes or so, take some questions, and then we'll be done. But with this process, if you can show up for Sunday and Thursday, both, fantastic. We definitely need that. If you can only show up for one or the other, then you can still participate. You can still be in on the pitches and the stuff on Sunday, and then still bounce the jokes all week. And then Thursday, I figured it kind of like the wave. I'll have everybody show up, and either you can be all hands on deck as like a crew role if Emily needs you and your experience, or if you don't have any experience, maybe we'll sit you in the studio and you could be kind of our laugh track, because these things are kind of dull. If you've ever seen Trevor Noah, he just sits in a quiet, silent room and nobody laughs at his stuff, and he's already kind of, so it's like, it's a little brutal sometimes. And it was a little brutal with John Oliver as well, even though I find him hysterical. But let's get started real quick. I'll share my screen again, and then you guys can ask any questions at the very end of this, in case you have any. So this, hold on. Can you see my U-Hauls and my interesting graphic? Everybody's good? Thumbs up. Okay. We are so well trained for this. I know you guys are all church people. We technically have boundaries. We want to keep everything as clean as possible, but we want to push as close to those boundaries as we can just to make it funny. We don't, especially when we're pitching, you don't want to self-edit and be like, well, I thought that joke was too dirty, and then Thursday we needed it, and it's like, let us decide that. So in the process, you're free to be blue. WTF, we'll stay at that. What are we doing? We are doing a new style parody show, kind of like The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Not like the one with Trevor Noah, not quite as political. You don't necessarily have to be political for this. We're gonna find news anywhere we can find news. So what I do is I look at Google News, and then I look at the D&J, and I look at any kind of story I can find. You got your big lead stories like the Alec Baldwin thing, or maybe something Trump's doing this week, or maybe if you want to get political, definitely we have that addict. These are going to be the things. And you'll kind of look at those and then think of funny things about them. Again, this is replacing the old MT10 newscast. It's more of a wry satire delivery of the news, but it is a newsy format. So you get up there and you basically give a lead headline and then follow it up with whatever the joke, just like Seth Meyers or anybody else. So that's what you're going to be thinking of the whole time. If you can't write the jokes, not the biggest deal. You just get the concept up there, and then when we start sharing with everybody, then you'll be able to polish each other's jokes. Other examples are like Weekend Update, Late Night with Seth Meyers, Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Any of those shows are great to watch to get ideas for how we're doing this. Each show is going to be 30 minutes. We'll tape it just like it's live with minimal editing afterwards. I mean, if we're laughing so hard at a joke that we need to stop and reset for something, we'll roll with that. It's not going to have that. I want it to have that edge and that feeling of being live, and that edge that we had with MT10 News. So I definitely want to try to get it as close to, like, take real commercial breaks and like shoot it just like it's live if we can, but we'll have some wiggle room because it's not going out live. Typical format of the show, like a typical rundown, you have like a little graphic intro at the beginning. We're going to create that. If anybody here does intros or graphics, I'm going to create a preliminary one that will be pretty okay. I've done some good stuff. I've been through the classes y'all have been through. I can do some graphics, but if y'all look at that and say that really sucks, I can do better than that. By all means, there's your opportunity to do it. You'll have kind of like do these things pause? Do these go automatically? How do you work this contraption? You'll have kind of a segment one, which will be the headline news of the day. It's several, and I don't have these timed out yet, but it's like several minutes. You'll have me reading headlines, or eventually you'll have a co-host reading headlines, kind of like Michael Che and Colin Jost, and kind of go back and forth and riff off of each other. This could be done a few different ways. But at first, just to keep it simple, what we're doing is just writing for me, the host, at the beginning of it. And then have a little commercial break. We have PSAs, but I thought about we'd actually have an opportunity here to create some joke commercials as well, like fake products, because why not? I don't think there's any official rule that says we have to do like silly PSAs that we download from wherever. So we'll try to make some. Segment 2 will be a correspondent. If you've ever watched The Daily Show, you'll see they kind of have this fake correspondent in front of the green screen, and you can be reporting live from anywhere. I thought about this could be reporting live from Moscow if you're doing something funny about a Russian story, but it could also be, well, I couldn't get out of the dorm today, so it's like live from your dorm room. And it can be still done from the studio, so we don't have to actually bring a crew out to your dorm room, but that might be fun as well because we have the technology to do that. Segment 3 would be, it's like in other news, and then you kind of go to the off the wall stories where it's like the show has kind of built energy to that point where we can do like Kardashian news, or Kanye changed his name to Ye, or is it Ye? Is it Ye or Ye? Does anybody know?
It's pronounced Ye.
It's Ye. Okay. Well,
no, it's
all
like
right.
Ye.
Yay?
Like no, Ye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Ye because his name is Kanye, so it makes sense if it was just Ye.
But it would make Kanye sense if it was just Ye. So yeah,
It made more sense if he just kept his real name, really.
Exactly. Yeah. This right here is exactly what I'm looking for. That right there, if I had a correspondent on to talk about that, any one of y'all could have just written that. It could be 2 of y'all. That way you can actually write every week. You'd be like, hey, Dave, I got a correspondent idea and I'm hunting for 30 minutes of content and I don't want to write the show myself. So I'm going to be looking for this. Now, you can't have an ego. If your idea doesn't work, or if other people don't necessarily like your idea, given everything isn't going to be by committee here. That's why I get to be the dictator, so that I can say, no, his idea works. His idea goes on the show. And that helps the show, because if everything's done by committee, then nothing ever gets done. So once the show gets cooking, we can expend to an hour. In fact, we can actually spin off. A few of you have written me personally saying like, can we have sketch comedy shows? Can we have improv shows? And all that spins off of this. So if I've got a whole bunch of writers all working together and this is a fun thing and every week we're doing really great and everybody loves what we're doing, then y'all are going to start getting ideas and y'all are going to build up through BRTV and work your way up the hierarchy as well. What I'd love to do is have every one of y'all thinking, hey, I want to produce my own show. And then I want to crew a show, and then I want to get this done, because we could be kind of a dynamic sketch comedy machine here, kind of like a Second City or something like that, where they're constantly churning out funny multimedia, and there are jobs on the other end of this for that, because I'm sure everybody in every production company that needs talent for creative things in Nashville is going to want somebody like Third Coast Comedy. If we're creating our own thing here, then they're going to look at us, and we're churning it all out to video. So lots of opportunities here. Again, you can write bits, sketches, or any of that different stuff. You also can do single cam projects. Like if you go do interviews and packages, just like the news show, you're going to have opportunities to do all of that stuff. Your real commitment, HTF, how much work is involved. We never have to say the F word. Maximum 2 nights a week, real commitment. If you want to do 2 nights a week, It's up to you how involved you are. Some people are just going to write virtually and log on to the Google Doc every week and edit each other's jokes. Some people are going to want to really be involved and be correspondents. Some people are going to be like, hey, Dave, I want to be the next host. It's whatever you guys want to do, whatever level you're at and however much you want to jump into it. But I'm going to keep your time. Like I'm going to try to make sure that I take full advantage of everybody's time. Sunday, you're going to have a 1 hour Zoom max to pitch ideas, concepts for the week. Of course, we want the show fresh, so you have until Wednesday at midnight to get all of your stories, your ideas, and all that stuff. I'll even show you how the format, how it's going to be done here in a few minutes. But you also, if after the hour on Sunday, you show up on Thursday night, say call time 4 p.m. If we use the sim, otherwise we might actually all just kind of show up in the studio, whatever happens. 6 p.m. is go time. You know, that'll give 2 hours for, and we may change this timeline. It might end up being 7 p.m. It's whatever everybody can do crew wise, and we'll work with Emily on that. And then as soon as we're done, we get out of there. And then if somebody wants to edit, step up, great. If not, I'll edit it. You know, it's like, that's the thing. I can write this show. I can do everything but crew it. And then, well, I need a lead producer, but we'll get to that. But it would really suck if I did. So we need all hands on deck to help me do all of these things so that we can get out of there. And then I'll it'll be about an hour to shoot at the max. And then we'll just get right out of there. No postmortem, no anything. I'll edit it and, you know, send everybody notes on what we could do better next week for what, you know, we'll talk about that on Sunday. This is just an outline. If you wanted to screenshot that, that's exactly what we're going to do. You cite the story, you know, you at first, here's how this is going to look. Actually, let me share a different screen with you. Where is my, hold on a second. I am worse than your teachers. All right, this is actually how your first Word doc is going to look. What I'd love for you guys to do, and this is the assignment that I'm going to give you all, is go start looking for news stories. If you come up with 2 or 3, great. If you come up with 10, fantastic. I'm going to be asking everybody for as much output as they want to do. Are you guys, which screen are you seeing? Are you seeing the Word document with Alec Baldwin?
We're seeing the Word doc, yeah.
All right. Well, this is what you're going to produce at first. It's going to be just a Word document, and you're going to send it directly to me. That's quality control for me, so I don't accidentally like if one of you guys is a real big racist and writes a bunch of racist jokes, I don't want you to share that publicly. However, I don't think you'd have gotten this far if you were, so this is just a fail-safe. This also makes everybody a little bit more comfortable. That way we're not all like stepping out in front of the class. You're just writing a document for yourself, and then I can edit it to make sure that it's kind of on path with what we want to do here. I picked a controversial type story, so I'd show you how I would approach it. We can touch on controversial things, but especially if somebody in our in one of our media industries dies, which happened here, you gotta really watch how you're gonna make fun of it. So this is not only the format for what you'd be turning into me, but you would have this kind of writing with it as well. You'll write the headline out wherever it's from, and then give me the link on what you share. And then right after that, write down whatever ideas you can think of that are just funny to you. Mine, actually, the third one came from one of the guys that's here, Mark, I believe. No, Nick. Sorry, Nick, I had forgotten your name for a second. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of how you want it to look. When it gets down to the Google Docs, what you'll do is you'll never delete anybody's thing, but you'll come back and then you'll say, I have, You know, you can put like, say, I have an addition on joke 1 above. And then how about we say, or something like that. And then you add your punchline, how, you know, or something like that. And then somebody else is like, on 2, you know, how about this? Or you have your own thought. And then you just kind of add and add and add and add. Aubrey, what's up?
I was just wondering, so like this script though, how would you read it? Like, because I've never heard you actually talk in your news reporter voice. So like, could you like show us what you would like, how you would say this in an actual show?
Well, that's the thing. We haven't gotten to that point yet. So if you can write it in a broadcast format, to where you write like how this here is just your ideas. And then I write it into a script on Thursday that I'm going to read. I would say, probably have 2 lines on this. Terica can help with this because she's in broadcast journalism as well. You know, I would have, say, like a softer first line, like Alec Baldwin is in the news today. He's actually inconsolable after what went on. And it's like, this is Thursday, so it happened a week before that. So you kind of write it as though it's something that happened in the past. And then you would write those first 2 lines, whatever they were, in a perfect, like almost like it's a news, but I'd be delivering it with kind of a smirk on my face. And then these lines at the bottom, what you're seeing right there are the taglines. These are your punchlines. So you would come in, it's like what a needless shooting. Not only things we've been hearing all week, especially since a gun never should have been in Baldwin's hands to begin with. Like, seriously, who needed an Alec Baldwin cowboy flick in the first place? You know, you would deliver it just like any kind of a joke. But the script will be written at first, just like bullet points. And then what you guys are going to do throughout the week is just add to each other's bullet points. And what that does is give me this little stew that I can pick from to be able to write the jokes and have the jokes properly tagged with a proper punchline. I did this very quickly, so I didn't really write it into a news story format, but you don't necessarily need to see that to know that, know exactly what we're talking about. Does that answer your question? She gave me a thumbs up. Okay. All right. So sharing back to this, and then we'll wrap this up here. You see how much work is involved now? Okay. All right. So basically what we do is we have a Zoom on Sundays where everybody comes to me with whatever their ideas are, whatever they have, that they've been thinking about. Like, you thought about a commercial, you thought about, hey, I want to do a package this week. If you think of a package, you know, I'll be kind of your news desk. So even if anybody doesn't have anything, I'll kind of have, like, I'll populate the Google Doc when we start on that with things that I've already seen. So I'll have things that's like, hey, there's funny stuff about that. And then I'll toss it at you guys, and then it'll be your responsibility to put that in what you know, either this first week, put it in your document that you send to me, or in subsequent weeks after everybody gets going, put it in the Google Doc that you edit. And I'll help bounce you around as we go. Give you guidance. You're going to read national, state, local, campus news and just write funny things about it all week. Just find news and find funny comments. That's really it. You know, you guys are all writers, so you have the ability to come up with tags of varying degrees. Don't self-judge. Don't worry about whether it's funny or not. Just like I did with the Alec Baldwin thing, you just throw it out there. Whatever concepts you come up with, this is going to be a spirit of collaboration and yes and. So you look at it and you say, oh, okay, I get where he's going with this. And just like you guys did a little while ago, without even knowing it, with the ye thing, yeah, the ye thing, we will never agree on that, will we? That'll be a generational thing. You'll be able to tell future generations on how they pronounce Kanye West's name. I think you already can. Like he's different things to all generations. But then Thursday nights, it's like you start off Sunday, you bounce jokes off all the week, and then Thursday night you show up to help shoot the show. We will have a script. I will read that script, and everybody but Aubrey will laugh at that script. Hopefully you'll all show up the day of to have this camaraderie and the spirit of camaraderie that we are going to generate in that studio, because we've actually had times in MT10 studio, like Vote or whatever, where everybody is kind of like crunchy in that studio, and it's not a good vibe. So if we're all in there and we've been joking around all week, man, not only are we going to be getting stuff done, which Emily will like, but it's going to be the most fun show in the history of Blue Raider television and any other entity we've ever been, MT10, whatever. So here's your assignment. Again, follow the news sources this week, look for top stories, make a Word document, cite the link, give a brief description of the news story, and write at least one funny thought about it. I'd like to see 10 funny thoughts, but I'm not a slave driver. I don't care. You can just do whatever and participate as much as you want. But please participate. You email it to me either at this email address, which you can screenshot. That's my Gmail. It's easier because the university doesn't take, like for some reason, sometimes you don't get certain things and certain things aren't formatted right. So if you send it to my Gmail, it'll work. But CC my other one if you can. That way I can organize it on all platforms, being as old as I am, because I don't know all the technology. All right. So it's been a week with Dave Stripling, and I will open the floor to any questions. Somebody in the chat. Oh, Nick has dropped out. He's on set and he is needed. Nick is too important for us. So any questions, anybody?
So I know it's supposed to be like a news format, but how like dated do you want the jokes to be? Like,
I want them
like
all from the 1920s. If I don't hear things about the Charleston, they do not make the show.
I just mean like, do you want it more like pop culture as in like what's happening now? Like just like rewatchability kind of jokes.
Well, honestly, is there like a certain date? Like I had already had material, but I assume that by the time we get the show rolling, it's already kind of too old news. So like
not at all.
So
because
like, well, okay.
It's the whole process of the show. I mean, they've been churning out That's the Week That Was shows for literally 70 years. So the whole process, it's a magazine sort of program. And that's why the first assignment is going to be you guys coming up with concepts instead of the written voice of the jokes in themselves. If I had everybody write it, they'd be written in different voices and different perspectives. You have to take an angle at every story. Like, okay, this might have happened a week ago, but this is what's still funny about it. So it's catching everybody up to a week of programming, and it works particularly with young folks because a lot of younger folks don't necessarily keep up with what's going on every day. A lot of people get their news from comedy shows like John Oliver, and those are weekly shows. So that's what I mean. John Oliver's show. Has anybody ever seen John Oliver's show? Raise your hand if you've seen John Oliver. He does that's This Week Tonight with John Oliver, and it's the past week of shows. And sometimes he just has, and it's a little bit different. It's more commentary. It's like he'll do 15 minutes on one topic, and we're not going to do that, but because I mean, we might eventually, but right now it's just let's write one-off jokes. Let's do our tight 5 open mic type thing first, and let's make that our bread and butter. Joke out, and then continue on to that. But as far as the writing of the stuff, it's just the angle you take on it. Like you don't, like with the Alec Baldwin thing, you've actually given that enough room to breathe that people are ready to laugh at it. So you can laugh at it on Thursday, whereas the Thursday previous when it happened or the Friday previous, it wouldn't have been as funny. So you give it a little bit more room. So it gives us a little more leeway to be able to talk about things. Plus, we can't generate a show every night. There's no realistic expectation of that. So if you're going to do a newsy type program, this is the only way to do it. So Sorry, all the answers won't be that long, but because I've had you guys for so long, thank you for your time.
Oh no,
But,
thank you. You answered it right. So
do you have does anybody else have any other questions? All right, is everybody excited about doing it? All right, everybody's
yeah.
actually okay. Well, then does everybody understand the assignment? Oh, I'm getting claps from everybody.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
think so.
You guys have learned how to use the emojis. I never quite. That's another running gag with this. I'm 43, so you guys are going to be teaching me some stuff, that I just don't know. Like there's probably something I'm going to screw up about the Google Doc, and it will be funny. And feel free, if you've got a bit about everybody getting together and saying that that I don't know, like it. If you can write that into a bit and that becomes the personality of the show, that the writers are kind of the stars kind of in the shadows, I would love that. This needs to be an ensemble thing. It doesn't need to just be me. It'll start just me, and then it'll expand to let's make fun of me. Let's have a co-host up there with me, and let's have a correspondent that's blah blah blah. Maybe I'm a correspondent one day. Maybe I get banished. Whatever we do, whatever we end up having as a creative product each week, it's like I don't expect it to be evergreen as though they're going to show it on a loop from now on. But then again, MT10 isn't supposed to be that. It just is right now. It's this weird rudderless drone where they keep showing things over and over. And honestly, if our show is dated, it'll still be funny. So even if they're like, if I watch a Daily Show from 2009, I remember the jokes, and the jokes are still funny. The concepts are still funny, even if it's like about Obama or something. It's like it doesn't have any, like the roots of the jokes are still good. So hopefully we write a program that, well, even if it doesn't air, frankly, after you all graduate, nobody's going to care. You'll all just, what my point is, I want us all to get jobs because this is so good. So hopefully those roles will do that. Annalise, question?
Yes. Do we need to share our Gmails with you, or will we just use our empty mail accounts for this?
The next link I'm going to send to everybody's, like, where obviously you got the link. So does anybody have a problem, or do you have a preferred email address that you would rather send me? If
it's a Google Doc, we'll need our Gmails to work on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, usually I kind of prefer to use my Gmail. Actually, yeah, because I think it is required. You have to use a Gmail account to use Word documents.
Or Google Docs, yeah.
Or Google Docs.
We could do a Word document with our empty mail accounts.
Yeah, you could send like a PDF file to you, and then, but no, like if we're gonna do like an open Google Docs, we have to share our Gmails.
Well, does everybody here have a Gmail?
Of course.
That's not an of course. I know a chick with a Yahoo. I mean, and I mean, that's kind. I didn't know that was still a thing.
How old is this chick with the Yahoo?
I don't know. Old enough to not be offended that I just said chick. So, so I sincerely apologize to everyone for that. But does everybody get it? Oh, Emily, yes. Sorry, Emily. The person who can actually pull the plug on this whole works has a Yahoo, so we have offended her. So maybe I won't see you again. But just in case I do, everybody send me that stuff. Send me your preferred Gmail by the email that I already have. Just go ahead and reply to whatever email I sent you and say, hey, this is my preferred Gmail. I'll put together a list. And then Google Doc is the thing that, I mean, if we end up having a better format, great, but we're going to start with a Google Doc because that's what I know the best. And we will try to reconvene every Sunday. And if you can't be there, if it's like a beautiful day, or I mean, there's somewhere I can't be there because I got to work and gigs and stuff like that. So the email is going to be, or the Google Doc, or however we communicate throughout the next week is going to be important. So as it develops, I will send you updates. Any other questions? welcome to the show, everyone. I am so glad to have everybody on board. And if you want to meet with me one-on-one, I am completely off on Mondays and Fridays, and I have most evenings free to where I can squeeze in a Zoom, or we could even meet at the Student Union for really so food or great chocolate milk. I will see you all very soon. I'll talk to you then. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night.